One other thing to mention, which Maria touched on before, unfortunately, we spoke about the 2 hit-and-run fatalities that occurred in the precinct back in April. There were 2 that occurred within a couple of weeks of each other. And just on Wednesday afternoon, it was 2 weeks ago tomorrow, it occurred on May 6th. As a matter of fact, I was coming back from one police plaza from a meeting, and an individual, a bicyclist, on a regular bicycle, not any motorcycle or anything, and unfortunately it was right up the block on Myrtle Avenue, there on Jamaica Avenue, where it cuts in right by the diner over there. 2 individuals were riding. They were both from Ireland, and they were raising money to purchase seeing eye dogs for blind people in Canada. So they were obeying the vehicle and traffic laws. They were stopped at the light right over here on Jamaica and Lefferts, and an individual who was driving a large-sized truck had seen them because they were to his right, stopped at the red light. The light turned green. They all proceeded to go, it would be westbound on Jamaica Avenue. And unfortunately, he was making the cutoff onto Myrtle Avenue, and he saw one of the bicyclists. He did not see, unfortunately, he did not see the other one, and the other bicyclist wound up getting struck by the truck, and unfortunately, he was removed to Jamaica Hospital where he expired shortly thereafter. But what they were doing is they were raising money. They had a lot of sponsors, and to get this money, they were going to basically stop and visit every single subway station in New York City, and they had more than 3/4 of them done. So they were hitting the stops on Jamaica Avenue, and unfortunately, this individual was struck and killed. And it was just a terrible tragedy. It was, that's why they called accidents. It was a freak thing, and it was very, very unfortunate. But I want to just thank Officer McCoy, the person who was doing the bicycling with. Officer McCoy helped him out tremendously that day, the following day, and as a matter of fact, the victim who passed away, his brother had flown in from Ireland the next week, and he came to the precinct, and Officer McCoy assisted him with everything that he needed, try to comfort him in any way possible. But it was a very sad day, and it was a tragedy. So that was that.
First, I wanted to thank the precinct for their enforcement of the truck commercial parking. It's much improved, and I hope that you continue doing that because it really makes a difference.
Thank you.
That's one thing I want to mention. Thank you for that. The other thing you mentioned was the graffiti, and you emphasized the cleanup, but I wanted to talk about the enforcement, catching the perpetrators. What kind of measures are being taken to catch the perpetrators? Are there any thoughts to having surveillance cameras, unmarked cars, or other programs that might help to catch the perpetrators?
Yes, as a matter of fact, on May 6th, myself and my Special Operations Lieutenant Stephen went to a meeting at Home Police Plaza, a 2-hour meeting with regard to graffiti in the 102 precinct. And it's funny that you mentioned it. We are in the process of getting a surveillance camera for one particular location in the precinct that gets hit all the time. One thing maybe a lot of you do not know about this. It's a new thing. It's called scritchiti. I don't even speak. No. Scritchiti. And unfortunately, it's with the new bus stops, the new bus shelters, and a lot of the kids like to scratch into it, and it's very expensive to replace the glass. So that's one thing we're looking at. We have one particular bus shelter that has gotten hit quite a few times. So we do have a sufficient amount of unmarked vehicles. We have set up surveillance on this one particular location, and unfortunately, graffiti is just something you have to catch them in the act of doing.
Right.
And we tried, and it's just something we have to stumble upon, or we need help from you, the community. If you see it, call 911 right away, and we will respond as expeditiously as possible. And if they are doing it, we will make an arrest. Friday afternoon I worked, and my day tour conditions team had caught 4 individuals, juveniles, doing graffiti, and we arrested all 4 of them. And it is being addressed, and we're doing the best. We're going to do better though. We are doing a good job, but there's always room for improvement.
Okay, and if you'll bear with me, there's one more thing. I've read about 4 different occurrences of push-in robberies in Woodhaven and Ozone Park, where the perpetrators were You know, they were overtaking the people outside of their homes and pushing them inside their homes and tying them up and robbing them.
There have been a couple. I know the one you're talking about. One occurred about a month ago. It was a woman. She was older. She was outside sweeping the front of a house, and while she was outside, she had left the door open because she was just sweeping in front of a house. She goes inside, and unfortunately, the perpetrator was already in her house, and wound up taking some, taking some of her property as well. That particular incident, I don't believe she was tied up. We had another incident early part of last week in the Ozone Park area. An individual entered the home. The two elderly people that resided there. What I mean by elderly, they were both over 80 years of age. They did not lock their door for some reason. He went inside, he took money, and I believe just one bracelet. A woman had a bracelet on. Her husband was tied with some type of tie, and right after that, that individual went just over the border into the 103 precinct and committed a similar type of crime, a home invasion robbery. So, it's something that has, I just mentioned two off the top of my head that I do know about. We do not have that many of it. Most of our robberies are a lot of street youth-on-youth robberies, but those are very serious crimes. We take them very seriously. The detective squad that just investigates these types of robberies, aggressively pursues them and investigates them, and hopefully we'll have, a good response to it. This one last week, in the early part of last week, that the individual committed the crime in our precinct, and then went right over the border 10 minutes later and committed a similar one in the 106 precinct. He was identified as a male Hispanic, approximately 30 years of age. He was wearing a shirt with a patch on it, which said some type of security, no, not a police department badge, but some type of security patch. So.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to say sincere thank you to the wonderful precinct. About approximately 2 Saturday nights ago, I was in front of my house. I was trying to get my doorbell functioning. Then my neighbor stepped in. Then my brother stepped in. So I was back in the street. Next thing you know, the 102 precinct car pulled up to check. Wanted to know what was going on. So when I turned around, I heard them say, "Oh, are you okay? Are you, that was very good. I felt very touched that somebody was protecting and watching my property. And I felt very proud of it. I called Ms. Thompson immediately. And I must say it was a team of other officers, not in uniform, but I recognized one, Sergeant Garwood.
Oh.
Yes. And I was like, I was recognized immediately when they wanted to know what they were doing at my door at 10:45 p.m. Someone was hammering my door, I think, there soon. So I feel very safe in my neighborhood. Very, very safe. And I must compliment everyone that participated in the safety.
Thank you very much for the compliment. I love doing stuff like that. There's just one thing that the hardworking men and women of the 102 precinct do. They do a phenomenal job. They've done an exceptional job since I've taken over, and I wouldn't expect anything less. So thank you very much, and thank you very much for having me. And I look forward to seeing everybody next month when our special guest comes. Thank you.